The system's rigged. The system's rigged. The system is rigged. We are pushing back against it. That is what is going on here. Because really, we just need two things in this world to be able to live. We need food and housing. My name is Corey. I'm with the Take It Back movement, with Blackout the System. And what we're doing is we are pushing back. The problem is that we don't have enough money. Money buys us security in the form of food and housing. Money allows us to be able to live our lives without fear. So in that kind of way, it's that money doesn't buy happiness, but money allows you to live without fear. And what we're doing is, I guess, while we're building up, we're in phase 2, everybody. We need you to start creating that content. This is what is happening, is that you are all here. You all signed up because you felt that emotional spark. You felt that clarity. Well, the first goal was to build the momentum, was to build the wave. Well, we just hit 3,000 signups in 10 days. 3,000 signups in 10 days. All those people are activating too. They're not just signing up to stickers. They're joining the pressure campaign. They're joining the community builders. And we are coordinating national pushback through mass actions like Blackout the System, while also maximizing local impact, while coordinating with other groups. What this is this is not a single movement. This is 1,000 movements that all know that this is the moment. So if you know a movement, if you're part of a movement, reach out to us, let us know. Go sign up for the free stickers. At the bottom of the sticker link, it asks you if you want to do more. If you are ready to push back, we have ways for you. We have a whole menu option of items for everyone that wants to push back. Because we are all already doing it. We have a name for it in our society. It's called quiet quitting. Quiet quitting is when we don't get paid enough, so we don't put in our full effort. So we don't put in our full skill. We say, I'll show up. Yes, both of those, especially with the large protest coming up next week. We should have people in 50 states representing. And that's where, if you want to be a part of it, go sign up for the free stickers. Link is in the bio. And when you sign up, choose what you want to do. You can be part of the pressure campaign where you're putting up stickers, where you're helping to coordinate that quiet quitting. Because back to what I was saying, that's all that we need to do. We're all already pushing back, but in our individual silos. We're all doing it in our different ways. Because the boss is screwing over all of us. 73% of jobs in this country are corporate jobs. Well, it turns out that 88% of corporations on the S&P 500 have the same 2 majority shareholders. Yes, did you send in pictures, Butterfly? That's the main thing too. We can always give you more as well. But we don't just want the stickers out there. We want pictures of the stickers too, because we got to stack that impact. Because what's happening is that you all are here. You all signed up for stickers because you had that spark, that emotional clarity. You saw something that said, aha, I'm going to take action. I'm going to sign up for stickers. This is easy. It's going to work. If we all do it, we can push forward. Well, somebody else is going to see your stickers, either in real life or online. That's why we need the pictures of them, because we are getting that information out there. We also have the wall of stolen wages. That is where, back to coordinated quiet quitting, when we are not getting paid enough and the bosses are still raking in all the profit, we need to expose their greed. So anonymously, go fill out the form on the wall of stolen wages and tell us how much you make, how much the boss is making, how much they're screwing you over. Sign up for stickers by going to the link in the bio. All right, I'm going to get into the full speech now, everybody. Go from top to bottom. We're going to name the problem, the fact that we don't have any money, even though we do all the hard work. The people who did the problem, the corporations and the politicians. How they got us here by getting rid of all the competition and completely buying out all the policies, all the politicians. And then finally, we're going to go into some damn solutions too, because that's what this is all about. We are taking real life action. We are coordinating mass pushback. Go sign up for free stickers to maximize local impact. As you sign up for free stickers, you're not only putting out free stickers, you're not only joining the pressure campaign, but if you want to be part of the community builders, that's the real important part as well too, because that's everything that we have to do together is build that community. The only way we can actually take down the rig system is by building a community large enough and organized enough to rival it. And that is exactly what we are doing. So as you come in, you help with the pressure campaign, with the mass actions, with the protests, with the boycott, but we also link you up with community building groups in your area. We have so many that are already a part of this, that as you come into the funnel, we say, hey, here's your free stickers. Who else do you want to be a part of? We've got urban gardening over here. We've got swap meets over here. We've got skill sharing over here. We got mutual aid over here. You can join any of these groups. Oh, and if they're not in your area, we'll give you the blueprint to start your own. That's what coordinated national pushback with maximized local impact is. Because we all feel the rigged system. So let's go through it. There's a lot of successful corporations in this country, but not a lot of successful employees. Now that don't make no sense, because we're the ones that do all the hard work. Yeah, they may come up with the idea. Maybe they have some capital because of their connections, but that's all they really bring to the table. It is nothing without the people to make the product, to ship the product, to scan the product, to stock the product, and then finally to buy the product. And all we're saying that is that if a company is successful, its employees should be successful too. That's it. If a company is successful, its employees should be successful too. Because if you work hard, you should get your fair share of the reward. What's your fair share, you might ask? Well, it's enough for food and housing. Because that is not only fair, because that's what humans need to live, food and housing. And we need money to be able to buy food and housing. So if you're working full-time for a successful company, you should have more than enough money to buy food and housing, like easily, because it's not just about being able to barely scrape by. What they do is they rob us of our security. That's what money really brings us, security. To be able to walk down the street and know if anything happens, you'll be all right. You got enough tucked away that you'll still be able to hold on to that food and housing. But as we all know, they keep so many of us stuck. 80% of Americans can't afford a $5,000 emergency. That's 208 million people that are one medical issue. That's why medical debt is the #1 reason for bankruptcy in this country. 208 million people that are one medical issue, one car issue, one housing problem away from financial ruin. And when they keep us one step away from financial ruin, we live in fear. And if we're living in fear, they make us easy to divide. Sound like a country anybody else has been living in recently? A bunch of people living in fear that are divided. And what the people up top have done is that they've divided us over 1,000 different issues. First, they make us point fingers left and right. And anytime we point fingers left and right at regular Americans, a billionaire sits back and smiles because their propaganda machine has worked. Because what they did was they got rid of all the competition. There are no more local mom and pop shops that can compete with the corporations. And if there's no one to compete with them, then it is not really a free market. Now, is it? Speaking of that free market, that hallmark of a free market is competition. And how can you have competition when 88% of the companies on the S&P 500 have the same two majority shareholders? Well, you can't. It's a rigged system. And the people up top rigged it so that they always get richer. And we are always one step away from financial ruin. So not only did they get rid of the competition, and you can't tell me that I'm almost 40 years old and I've never seen a general store, a hardware store, a pharmacy, a grocery store that locally that can compete with the big chains. And it is not a coincidence that Americans under 40 are the first generation in our country's history to be worse off than their parents. So after they got rid of the competition, they bought all of the spineless politicians. They rewrote the rules so that the people up top could do whatever they want. Just like DJ is saying. So that they could take more than their fair share while the people who helped them make that money are still struggling. That's why we call them the hoarders, because they have more than they need and they continue to take from those that don't. DJ, go sign up. We got the wall of stolen wages. The link is in the bio. You get free stickers. Look at the wall of stolen wages, because exactly what we're doing, we're taking stories like those. It's all anonymous and we're putting it out there. That's exactly what this is. Because as you are mentioning, they have ratcheted up the pressure on us for a long time. Now we're ratcheting up the pressure back on them. And I'm very glad to say this. Yes, Muppet Fart. You are totally correct. Oh, sweet, DJ. So I just added the wall of stolen wages to the website today. It's where you can put in a form and expose their greed, where you write how much you're making, you write how much the boss is making, call out the company if you want to. And then what we do is we post it, all anonymous, we get it out there, but we expose their greed. Well, they already have taken all our money. The 1% have as much money as 90% of us. And really, that's not even 90%. The bottom 50%, literally 400 people have as much money as the bottom 50% of Americans. So they already have taken all the money. And how do you, when they have gotten rid of all the competition, so the free market isn't there to protect us. They bought all the politicians, so they're not there to protect us. They control all the media, so we don't have the journalists there to protect us. What do? We have to come together. That's all it comes down to. This isn't the first time in history that the bosses have gotten greedy, and we just have to pull out the playbook again. It's the same thing. Break the silence, because what they do is they silo us. So break the silence, speak out, name the actual problem, corporate greed. It's not these 1,000 issues that they want us to focus on. It's not left or right. It's the people up top. There's a lot of fires going on in the country. Let's focus on the people with the flamethrowers, because they are the ones that make money at perpetuating the problems while we fight over all these small issues. But all of these problems will always be perpetuated inside of a rigged system. So we have to take down the rigged system first. How do we do that? We have to build a community large enough to rival it. And our first steps are small steps together. We're climbing the ladder of action. And it can't be some of us giving it our all. It has to be all of us giving it some. Because as we climb that ladder, some people want to reach up and go to rung 3 or 4, but unless everybody is there, it cannot happen. Because our first steps have to be small steps together. And not only are we pushing back at our job, and what is pushback, by the way? Pushback, anything you can do to cost the people in control in time, money, or power. So go out there, document it. If you've got a great idea, let us know, and we'll implement it with the thousands of people that are signing up every single week. Oh my gosh, Lynette, that is so great. You were who I was thinking of too. If you want to go to the wall of stolen wages, I don't know if we've gotten your story yet, Lynette. If you could go to the website and sign up, it should say add your story to the wall of stolen wages. It's a big button. You can put in the pay and stuff like that, but just ignore all that. Put it in the comments for us if you want to write out the situation, and we will get it out there. So what we are doing, and this is exactly, Lynette, this was the perfect timing, malicious compliance. Anything we can do to cost the people in control in time, money, or power. But here's the thing. You can't just do it in your own silo. You have to take a picture of it. You have to document it, and you have to send it in. That's what we also have on the website. A place where you can put all of your photos and videos to send them into us. So here's how it happens. We have the pressure campaign, but there's also the community builders. I'll focus on the pressure campaign for a minute because that's what Lynette is bringing in, and that's what we're a part of. Pressure campaign, anything you can do to cost the people in control in time, money, or power. We've got the wall of stolen wages that exposes their greed. We have 5 minutes of freedom that takes back some of our time, starts ratcheting up the pressure. 5 minutes, what's that? If one of us does it, it's nothing. If 10,000 of us do it, it starts making a wave. And then as Lynette comes in and offers these ideas of let's push back against corporate landlords, well, let's get a sticker that signifies shame and put it up, whoever wants to, anonymously, quietly on your corporate landlord's building. Show everybody who are the ones perpetuating the problem, who are the ones causing all the issues in society from their greed. And what we do is the more people see that, the more people grow there. Oh, I'm getting screwed over too. Hell yeah, I'm going to slap one of those on. And what happens is you get a spark, and another person reached out and they're doing an overpass up in Massachusetts, an overpass sign up in Massachusetts for blackout the system. Well, what we did was we emailed those 3,000 people. And instantly, we're now in 15 cities doing coordinated overpass on the same day, 1 week before blackout the system. Coordinated national pushback for maximum local impact. But the community building side is what is really exciting, because that is what we also need to do. We can't just tell people that the foundation is crumbling without building a new structure for them to run to. The community builders, those are people that are already organizing in their community, skill shares, mutual aid, parallel economies, farmers markets, swap meets, highlighting businesses that put people over profit. We don't need to build all these structures ourselves. All we need to do is say, come on, we all know this is the moment. This isn't just going to be one movement. This is 1,000 movements that all know this is the moment to come together, to build community, because community is the only way we can defeat this rigged system, by coming together. And it can't be all of us giving it, can't be some of us giving it our all. It has to be all of us giving it some. So what we do, we're already past phase one. Phase one is breaking the silence. We are loud enough that when we are getting thousands of signups per week, when we have all these celebrity endorsements, when we have very big people watching us, we have broken the silence. The next step is to break the fear. That's when we need to stack impact. Stacked impact, it doesn't matter who's in charge. The rich get richer. And if you don't see that, you've bought into some of the propaganda. Both parties are two sides of the same coin, and that coin is in a billionaire's pocket. So if they are a politician, screw them. They're not allowed in this movement. This is for the people. Politicians have had their chances. So we are coming together, because we all know that the politicians are just middlemen for the billionaires and the corporations. They are put there for us to yell at, to placate us, but nothing ever changes. We're still working harder than ever, barely scraping by. We don't have any security, which is just enough money to buy food and housing. And the whole thing is, when a bunch of people don't have enough money to buy food and housing, think about what actually happens. Well, they have to go on the public assistance that we all pay for. And the public good is there in case of emergencies when people need it, not so that the billionaires can keep stuff in their pockets, not so that the rich can get richer. So what we are doing is we are building momentum. We are growing the wave that's already happened. We completed phase 1, thanks to all of you. The next step, phase 2, is breaking the fear. That is showing other people what to do, how to do it. And when they see tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of these stickers across the country, we will not be afraid anymore. Because we know that we have all been feeling this. We know that it is 90% of us versus 1% of them. What does that actually look like in real life? Well, as Congress of Climate knows, and all of our normal friends in here, it's my favorite analogy. Here's what happens when we complete phase 2, because we just did phase 1. We've built the momentum, we've broken the silence, and now we break the fear. And this whole thing is joyous, this whole thing is wonderful, but this is the most fun part. Because it's when everybody has their hope restored. It's when everybody knows we're going to win. I know we're going to win because I see what's happening on the back end. I see the fire that everybody is coming to us with. I see how everyone is coming together and we're all recognizing. So now we got to coordinate. We have to wake everyone else up because what they do on purpose is keep us out of time, money, and energy to even think about this, let alone do something about it. So number 1, we need to stick it in people's faces every single day, and stick it, we will, with these free stickers. Go sign up. Link is in the bio. After you sign up for free stickers, it'll ask if you want to do more. You can be part of the pressure campaign. You can be part of the community builders. This isn't just a single movement. This is 1,000 movements all coming together because we know this is the moment to build the community that will become large enough and organized enough to rival the rigged system. And breaking that fear will look like this. When one of us goes into the boss's office and asks for a raise because we earned it, because we keep the place running, because we opened, we closed, we trained half the staff, we hired them all. And the boss says there's not enough money. Ugh. Meanwhile, they're talking about record profits every single quarter, and you're still struggling to get by. So it's a little scary when you have to go in and ask the boss for a raise. But what about this? What if every single person in the company walked into the boss's office at the same time, speaking the same language? Well, you're not afraid anymore, are you? All right, we need a wall of stolen wages. We need like a wall of stolen real estate too, because Lynette, Jen, we need to get your stories written down too. Because this is the kind of stuff we're pushing back against. Not only are they effing us over on the jobs, not only are they effing us over on the prices, but they're effing us over out of our homes too. God, I think about what happened to you like all the time, Lynette. Cannot believe that. I actually read a story that it's happening all over. So what we are going to do is all walk into the boss's office together at the same time, and all the corporations and the spineless politicians that they purchased. And when we do that, we will not be afraid because we'll have all come together and we'll be walking into the boss's office at the same time, speaking the same language. And here's what's going to happen. We're going to say, this system doesn't work for you anymore. It doesn't work for us anymore. It only works for you. And we're going to come up with a system that works for all of us. Because when you first needed to go out and grow your company, what did you do? You relied on the community to go find your first employee. You relied on the infrastructure to build your business. You relied on the economy that was there before you were even born. And beyond that, your business would be nothing without its employees because you rely on them to make money. So yeah, we deserve our fair share. And it's not a handout, it's our freaking back pay. That's what it is. We've earned that money, and it should be enough to thrive. Because if a company is successful, its employees should be successful too. This is going to take a long time. It won't be over by Christmas. It's not just a movement, it's a culture shift that needs to happen. And we have to work at it. We have to practice at it. Number one is practicing how we talk, how we spread the word. The best way to do it is by focusing on the economic rot that the 1% has created. Because everybody feels that pain. Everybody knows that they're screwing us on the housing prices. They're underpaying us at work. They're raising all the prices. And all of these companies are owned by the same two corporations. 88% of companies on the S&P 500 are owned by or have the same two majority shareholders, Vanguard and BlackRock. So what we are doing is pushing back against that because we all feel the pain. We're working harder than ever and we're falling farther behind. If you're working 40 hours a week, you should not have to check your bank account before you go to the grocery store. If you've been working 40 hours a week for a decade, you should be able to easily afford housing. Because if somebody doesn't have those things, then they either suffer or it falls on the public good. And the public good is there in case of emergencies, not so the rich can get richer. And what they're doing is they're taking advantage of our human nature while using their greed to exploit us. So we're pushing back against it. First step, go sign up for free stickers. That's how we continue to build momentum. We have thousands of people signing up every single week. And not only are we putting out free stickers, you can also choose to do more. So go to the link in the bio, sign up. It'll say at the very last question, do you want to do more? If you do, you can choose either the pressure campaign or the community builders. We also have the Movement Alliance team, recruiting and messaging and practical steps. What we need everyone to do is document everything they are doing, because the same way that you found this, that you saw something and that moved you to act, if you create content, if you show others what you are doing, you will move them to act. And that is the only way that we make this grow exponentially, even more than it already is. Because we have 300 people every single day signing up. That is over 10 an hour. And every single one of them is getting plugged in. They are getting activated. This is not activism. This is activation. This isn't even politics. This is the truth. And we all feel this. But let's talk about why it can be difficult sometimes. Well, because the people up top have controlled the narrative and bought all the media companies, so they can blast out propaganda pushing back against anything that would make them less rich. So that's what they do. But guess what? That's part of why we're going to win, because that's a really stupid strategy, because then you're robbing people of security. And eventually, if you rob enough people of security and you do it out in the open enough and brazen enough, well, they're going to stand up and say, hey, there's all this money in our country. Why is it that none of us can live? Because the only reason there's money in this country is because we're the ones that do the hard work. We built the companies. They took all the money. Because all we're saying is that if a company is successful, its employees should be too. Because if those employees who the owner relies on to make money are not making enough for food and housing, then it falls on the rest of us to pick up the tab. And the public good is there in case of emergencies and not so the rich can get richer. So we're coordinating. So we're recognizing, we're coordinating, we're escalating. We recognize the issue. We come together to stack our impact to make the mass action even more impactful. So go sign up for free stickers. When you sign up, you've got an option: pressure campaign or community builders. Because what's happening is that we all see the crack in the dam. We do. We all feel it. And really, even the people that don't see it, they still feel the pressure pulling towards them. And what we need to do is make that crack wider and wider and wider. And we do that by ratcheting up the pressure. And it's not some of us giving it our all, it's all of us giving it some. Small acts like the wall of stolen wages, where you can anonymously post your company, your salary, and how they're screwing you over because they're probably making a ton and you don't have enough to live. Can you all check if when Blackout goes live? Because I don't want to encroach on him, but hop off. I know he's sometimes a little bit late. We've got ways that you can push back, shirk the work, 5 minutes of freedom. Small ways that you can push back at work that, yeah, maybe on your own, it's not going to do much, but 10,000 of us, 100,000 of us all coordinating our quiet quitting, because that's all this is. We're all already pushing back. We call it quiet quitting. Quiet quitting happens when the people up top keep bragging about record profits, but we're the ones sitting there actually getting the job done, executing the contracts, doing the hard work, but we don't have enough to live. So we start withholding some of our energy, withholding some of our skill, withholding some of our dedication. I'm not going to do that. You're not paying me enough, right? But instead of us doing it on our own, let's all do it together. Stacked impact. It's like these stickers. One little sticker isn't going to do something, but we've got a couple thousand out in New York City alone. We have tens of thousands out across the country. And the more you stack it up, the more impact they will have. And that's just like our small actions. The more that we document it and show others what we are doing, other people will see that. They will see and feel the same exact spark that caused you to act. What we say is emotional clarity leads to recognition. Oh, shoot. And that leads to action. I should do something. Stickers, that's nice and easy. Sweet. All I got to do is tell one person a week. And this isn't just individuals. This is 1,000 movements all coming together because we know this is the moment to build a community large enough to rival that of the rigged system. So when you sign up, Social Justice Vet, at the very bottom of the sticker form, it asks if you want to do more. You can choose to be part of the pressure campaign or the community builders. Pressure campaign, anything you can do to push back is costing the people in power in time, money, or control. We coordinate with stickers. We coordinate with 5051, other large protest groups. But then you can also choose to be part of the community builders. If you're plugged into mutual aid, skill sharing, different things like that, let us know. If you aren't, we probably have groups in your area that are doing things to build community. This is 1,000 movements all coming together. And as you sign up, we funnel you through so that we coordinate national pushback while maximizing local impact. All right, everybody, head over to Blackout the System live. Sign up. We'll reach out to you soon after you sign up because we're getting activated.